Welcome to Craps Hawaii again. Thanks for taking a look at my videos, and hopefully it's helping you. I know you can't see me when I'm just showing you the table, but in this segment I just like to call what we locals in Hawaii call talking story, which is sharing experiences with your friends about what you've seen in Vegas, what you've learned, just talking story. So today, I just like to share some experiences and talk story with you. So some of the things is, people, excuse me, people talk on a lot of their videos about setting their dice and which way you should have it. Some of them, they want to do the big V or small V. And when we talk about the big V, we're talking about when you have 3 on one side, 3 on the other. A lot of people call that the big V. You could turn it around this way and set it however you want. When they talk about the small V, they're talking about the 2s. And they make it like this. They make it like this. People set their dice all sorts of ways. But my experience have been, and maybe not a lot of people who set dice would agree with me, but to me, setting the dice is having satisfaction in your mind that you think you have some kind of control over the dice, and that's why you think that you're gonna influence certain numbers coming out by setting the dice a certain way. I feel that I've seen people set dice and throw well, people set dice and throw not so well. I've seen people just pick up the dice and throw the dice and not well, and sometimes just pick up the dice and throw for a long time. And one of my experiences was that I was in Vegas on the table and watching this person pick up the dice, throw it, point, 7 out. And this went on like maybe 2-3 rounds where he just picked up the dice and just threw it. And 7 out, point, 7 out. So when my friend came to the table with me, he started to play, and when it went around to this guy's turn that just picked up the dice and threw the dice, I told my friend, you know what, don't bet on this guy. I've been here, I bet on him 4 times around, and he always point and 7 out. So this time, we didn't bet. But this time, the guy picked up the dice, did the same thing he did before, pick up the dice, throw it down the table, made a point, and he threw for 20 minutes. Of course, I wasn't on his roll, which I guess a little bit upsetting, but that's what happened. So, to me, setting the dice, not setting the dice, you just got to be lucky. Either the table is hot or it's not hot. And, you can put a mechanical arm out here and just throw the dice consistently, and it's going to end up the same thing. You're either going to have a long roll, short roll, a choppy roll. It doesn't matter whether you set it or you don't set it, and whether you want to throw it a certain play, whatever. But to me, whether you just pick up the dice and throw it, or you set the dice and throw it, what's important to me is if you throw this dice and you want to hit before the pass line, hit the wall, bounce off, you want to throw it high, you want to throw it low, that's fine. But I'd like somebody who would be consistent in throwing the dice. If they're going to throw the dice high and lob it and hit the wall and back, that's fine. But continuously try to do that. Don't throw the dice high, hit here a few times, you're doing well. All of a sudden, they pick up the dice and they just fly it down the table. That's when the 7 comes. I don't know why, but that's what happens. So that's just one story. Excuse me. The next thing is the table. I notice it's either good, bad, or choppy. And if you've been watching my 44 Inside um, strategy, if the table is choppy, you're gonna last. If the table is bad, which is like point 0.7, point 0.7, and you cannot collect your 3 rolls, then maybe it's time for you to stop playing on that table and look for another table. But if the table is choppy, you're gonna last. And if you can last where a good roll comes up, you can make your money. So the whole thing, like I said, is staying alive, staying in the game. Um, I had people who have had 1 hour rolls that I've seen. I haven't been on a 1 hour roll table yet. In all the years that I've gambled, I haven't been there. But I noticed, and this is why I say stay in the game, stay alive, is that if you see a 1 hour table, people are crowded all over the table, all around the table, watching this roll for an hour. If you look, and I looked at the table, around the table, you would see a lot of $5 bettors, few $100 bettors. And to me, reason for that, and I'm talking like 75 or 80% of the shooters are $5 bettors. You look on the rack, and you see them with their red and white chips. And why are there so many $5 bettors on the table compared to the big rollers who are playing greens, blacks? You know, to me, the reason that $5 bettor is there is because he's there all day. He bets $5. See, he's playing 22 inside. You know, he's a $5 bettor. He bets 22 inside. And when it hits, he takes, oh, pay me my $7. Another hit, take my $7. Another hit, take my $7. So he can last, and he's gonna be there much longer than the high roller guy who's gonna come up and say, "Oh, give me 135 across," and press, boom, 7 out. Oh, do it again. So, I mean, I've been there. I used to be a $135 bettor. And what happens, like I said in my other video, is that you playing the 135 inside, you playing the hard ways, you're playing the pass line. And all you have is somebody who chose a point, you press it up, he chose another point, you press it up, he sevens up. It only takes 4 to 5 people doing that, and you're out of the game, unless you want to put out another 1,000 and another 1,000. And believe me, there were times that in an hour or so, I'm $3,000 into the game, buying in for 1,000, buying in for 1,000, buying in for another 1,000. At that point, you're finally telling yourself, this table is no good. So what happens? You quit, you walk away. And that's when I said, like in my other video, that as I'm walking past the table again, looking at it, the dealers are going, "Hey, where you been? Right after you left, or 20 minutes after you left, we had a 40-minute roll, an hour roll." And like I said, the bigger bettors are not there because we played and we spent whatever we wanted to play at that time, and we left. The $5 bettor, he's still there. $5, $5, $5. So when that 1 hour roll comes, that $5 player is there. So that's why we want to be able to stay in the game with my 44 inside and be able to press our bets up. Another story was a friend of mine that he wasn't really a crap shooter, but he was going to Vegas and he wanted to play. So I kind of explained the game to him a little bit, and he went up. And when he came back, I asked him how he did. He said, "Oh, I was kind of nervous. I went up to the table. I put $5 on the pass line, and it was my turn. So I threw the dice. I threw the dice. I threw the dice a lot, and the table was screaming, and people were making money, and they were throwing me money because I was doing well." So I said, "So how long you roll?" He said, "Oh, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes or so." So I said, "Okay, and at the end of the roll, how much money did you make?" And he told me he lost $5. Now you would think, you throwing 20 minutes, everybody making money. How did he lose $5? Well, he lost $5 because he was only betting $5 on the pass line. He had no place bets. Everybody else had place bets. He had only $5 on the pass line. So when he didn't make his number, he lost $5. And so that's why, it's stories like that that tells you that you need to have money out here, either playing on the place bets, field, hard ways. You need more bets out there so you don't only have a pass line. If you had a pass line, that would be one number that you're trying to get. When you put four more numbers here, and let's say your number was a 10, like this, now you got 5 different numbers that you could roll to collect. Now don't get me wrong. Of course, you're going to have to put out more money, but you have more chances, right? It's like when you go play the lottery, you don't buy just one ticket, right? You're going to buy a few tickets, giving you more chances to win. And that's the same theory behind laying out the place bets, having a pass line with place bets. That's the theory behind that. So a lot of times, I've seen people hit the hard ways before they used to have the fire bet. Most people, including myself, have, to me, won money, made my money back that I was losing on proposition bets like the hard ways, the fire bet, all tall, all small, because you rarely gonna catch somebody who gonna roll for 50 minutes to an hour. And yeah, of course, when they're rolling and you're on the table and you can press it up, and you don't know when he's gonna 7 out. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna press it up. You're gonna take some money back. You're gonna press it up. You're gonna take some money back. So by the time you realize that it's gonna be a 1 hour roll, about 30 minutes into the roll, you finally decide, oh, I better start pressing this up. I made enough money. So when there's a 1 hour roll, there's so many people on the table that the payoffs is slow. So it takes longer for them to pay off all the players and set up their bets when it's getting towards the end of an hour. So the rolls for an hour is not all that many rolls, especially when it's crowded on the table. So that's why you need to know strategies and theories and how to play so that you can make money. Okay? So that you can make money. I mean, when you're winning, it's easy to press up your bets because you're not losing. And there was a time that I walked into the Golden Nugget and my friend threw the dice for 45 minutes. And I started only with 54 across. But because I was winning before I started on that table, we won at another hotel and we were up like $2,000. And when we came here, I started with 54 across, and because I was winning, I just pressed. And at the end of his roll at 45 minutes, I made $10,000. But those experiences are few and far in between. And people who made a lot of money, I can almost guarantee you that people who made a lot of money also lost a lot of money. Probably lost more than what they won. So my videos and things that I showing you, it's just trying to keep you in the game so that you can have fun, make a few dollars, and if you lose, it's not going to be a lot of money that you're going to lose. And it all depends on your bankroll and whether you're playing 135 across or 22 inside or 44 inside. And if you're playing the field and the hard ways, it's just, it all depends on bankroll. And anyway, I just wanted to talk story and share some experiences. And, I had a guy the last time I just was up in Vegas. He was playing $5 hard ways, and the person threw a hard 8. So he pressed it up to $50. And after a few rolls, the hard 8 was hit again. So that $50 became $500 because the 8 plays 10 to 1 or 9 to 1, depending on what table you're playing. So I thought he would press it up to $100, but no. He pressed that $5, it became $50, it became $500, and he pressed it $500 on the hard 8. And lo and behold, after a few rolls, the hard 8 hit. So that $5 became $5,000. Now, trying to make that kind of money, waiting for a 1 hour roll, barely going to happen. So these things are just experiences that happen. So anyway, hopefully with this talk story segment that I had, if you have any questions, you can put it down in the comments and we can talk story on the site. Anyway, thanks again for checking out my site called Craps Hawaii.